Hey, what is going on, guys? Infernal H here, and today's video is going to be all about the Mage loadout. Now, before we get into this video, can you please like and subscribe to my channel if you are brand new here? It really does help me out a lot. And as well as if you want to join my Discord server, I will leave a link for that in the description of this video. Okay, so first off, we are going to be covering the best mage armor in the game. The best mage armor in Terraria is Nebula armor. To craft this armor, you will need a total of 45 Nebula fragments and a total of 36 Luminite bars. Now, this armor does give a bunch of different stats for you to be a mage. The helmet gives increased maximum mana by 60 and reduces mana usage by 15%, which can be a big help, as well as it has 7% increased magic damage and critical strike chance. The breastplate gives you a total of 9% increased magic damage and critical strike chance along with the helmet. The leggings give you an increased magic damage and a 10% increased movement speed, which can be helpful for dodging attacks and dealing extra damage. The set bonus for this armor is hurting enemies has a chance to spawn buff boosters, and when you pick up the buff boosters, you will get different types of buffs. There are 3 different types of buffs. One of them will increase your attack speed, the other will increase your mana regeneration, and the other one, the final third one, will increase your health regeneration. These buffs can be a big help when you pick them up because they can cover basically an entire area. You and your teammates can pick up these buffs, so you will be able to help your team out while in battle. Okay, so moving on to the weapons that you should be using for your mage loadout, we are going to be starting off with the Razor Blade Typhoon. Now, this weapon is a very good weapon. It shoots out spinning homing projectiles that will target your enemies and deal quite a bit of damage. Now, the base damage for this with its modifier is 69 magic damage, 9% critical strike chance. It has very slow speed when you're casting the spell. They come out not at a medium speed. They have okay knockback, uses 16 mana, and those are the stats for this weapon. Now, the best modifier for this weapon will either be demonic or mythical. You get this weapon as a drop from Duke Fishron when you kill him. Okay, so moving on to the very next weapon that I'm going to be talking about, which is the Lunar Flare. Now, this weapon's best modifier is mythical, and its base damage with its modifier is 115 magic damage. And it also has a 9% critical strike chance. It has very fast speed when you're casting the spell, has average knockback, and it uses 12 mana. This item is a drop from Moonlord when you kill him in either normal mode or expert mode. Okay, so moving on to the very next mage weapon, which is the Nebula Arcanum. The best modifier for this weapon is mythical, and its base damage with the modifier on it is 80 magic damage, as well as it has 9% critical strike chance, has average speed when you're casting it, and it has average knockback, and it costs 27 mana when you use it. And this weapon is crafted from just Nebula fragments. Now, moving on to our second to last weapon, which is the Nebula Blaze. The best modifier for this is mythical, I believe. I have the wrong modifier on these, sorry about that. But its base damage with this modifier is 139 magic damage, has 7% critical strike chance, very fast speed when you're casting it, has no knockback, and it uses 18 mana per cast. This weapon does shoot out fast pink projectiles which do lock on to your enemies and deal quite a bit of damage. And now, this item is crafted just only from Nebula fragments. Now, moving on to our final mage weapon that I'm going to be talking about in this video is the Last Prism. Now, the best modifier for the Last Prism is demonic, and its base damage with the modifier is 115 magic damage, 9% critical strike chance, has very fast speed, no knockback, and it uses 12 mana per cast. Now you can get this weapon as a drop from Moonlord in any game mode. Now this weapon does shoot a gigantic laser and uses a ton of mana, so you will probably need a recommended accessory that I will be talking about later on in this video. Okay, so moving on to accessories for your mage build, we are going to be talking about your accessories for normal mode, which is not an expert mode. Now, for your accessories, I would recommend you using the Nebula Mantle Wings, which can give you flight and slow fall. The second accessory that I would suggest for you to have is the Celestial Cuffs. Now, this will allow you to increase your range for picking up of mana stars, which will help you gather more mana so you don't run out over time. Now, for your third accessory, I would recommend the Ankh Shield. The Ankh Shield gives you 4 defense, and it grants immunity to knockback and fire blocks, as well as it grants immunity to basically every single buff in the game. Now, moving on to your fourth accessory, I would recommend the Destroyer Emblem. It gives you 10% increased damage and 8% increased critical strike chance to your enemies. Now, moving on to the final accessory for your normal mode character, I would recommend using the Mana Flower, which has 8% reduced mana usage, and it makes it so you automatically consume mana potions when you run out of mana on your character. Now, for your modifiers on your accessories on your normal mode character does not matter a huge amount. I would recommend either using Menacing or Warding on your accessories. Okay, moving on to your expert mode accessories that you should be having is you're going to want to have the Nebula Mantle, and which just allows flight and slow fall, which I mentioned before. And for your second accessory, you will want to have the Mana Flower, which gives you 8% reduced mana usage, and as well as it automatically consumes mana potions when you run out of mana on your character. Now, for your third accessory, you're going to want the Celestial Emblem. This increases pickup range for mana stars, and it gives you 15% increased magic damage. Now, for your fourth accessory, you're going to want a Celestial Shell, which turns you into a werewolf at night and a merfolk when you run into water. Now, this will give you increased stats for when it's nighttime and when you're a werewolf. Now, this also gives you minor increased stats to damage, melee, speed, and critical strike chance, life regeneration, defense, mining speed, and minion knockback at all times, which is a very good accessory to have. Now, for your next accessory, you're going to want to have the Destroyer Emblem. Now, this will give you 10% increased damage and 8% increased critical strike chance, which will be a big help. Now, your last accessory you're going to want is the Ankh Shield, which gives you 4 defense, grants immunity to knockback, fire blocks, and grants immunity to most debuffs in the game. The modifier that you're going to want to have for your expert mode character is Warding, which gives you 4 extra defense per accessory that you have equipped, and I recommend to have Warding because a lot of the enemies in expert mode deal extra damage, and you will want to have that extra defense on your character so you don't die as much. Okay, so this third build that I'm going to be talking about is basically going to be a DPS build. Now, you can use this basically when you're doing boss battles or events, which will be the times when this will be most helpful for you. So basically, the accessories that you're going to want to be using for this build is you're going to want to have the Sorcerer Emblem. Now, this will give you 15% increased magic damage, which will be a big help when you're doing battles for extra DPS. Now, your second accessory that you're going to want is the Avenger Emblem, which also gives you 12% increased damage, along with your Sorcerer Emblem to give you even more damage when you're attacking. Now, your third accessory you're going to want is the Destroyer Emblem. This gives you 10% increased damage and 8% increased critical strike chance, which will further increase your damage that you're going to be having. Now for your fourth accessory that you want, it's going to be the Celestial Stone, which basically gives an increased buff to basically all stats and will help you quite a bit on the battlefield. Now your next accessory is going to be the Celestial Shell, and this basically does the same exact thing as the Celestial Stone. It's just, it'll stack together because they're different accessories. Now for your final accessory, you're going to want to have the Celestial Emblem, which increases pickup range for magic stars, and 15% increased magic damage, which will help you a lot on not running out of mana and having extra damage. Now, since you don't have any wings in this build, what I would recommend you having is having the Cosmic Car Key mount or the Shrimpy Truffle mount to have infinite flight so you can easily fly around the map and dodge attacks. Okay, so that will be it for today's video, which was about your mage loadout, the best mage loadouts that you can have for your mage characters. Now, if this video did help you out, could you guys please like and subscribe? It really does help me out a lot, as well as if you want to join my Discord server, I will leave a link for that in the description of this video. Now that will be it, and goodbye.